It is Financial Friday, and Chuck Sederstrom from Finance One is here. We're talking about refinancing and also credit repair. Chuck, how are you?
I am wonderful, enjoying the snowy weather, thanks.
Oh boy, Chuck, I'm reading the paper, I'm watching the TV, watching
Well, those are your
the
first two
news.
mistakes.
Should be just listening to you.
That's right.
Exactly. Those rates are low, though.
The rates are super low.
Super duper low.
Super low. That's the word to describe it. You know, last week, Courtney, I was able to lock in a new home buyer at with an APR of 4.75. That's the APR. That's with all fees included.
Wow.
That is phenomenal. Now, they go up and down a little bit, but the bottom line is rates are super low, whether you're looking to purchase or refinance. You know, we've talked about refinance here lately. I want to remind everybody these same low rates apply to a purchase.
Okay.
And in addition, it is still a buyer's market, Courtney. We're just not seeing the home buying activity the way we should. You've got great rates, you've got a buyer's market, and on top of that, of course, our first-time home buyers still can get that $7,500 tax credit.
Okay.
Time to wake up. Let's go buy a house, people.
Do you think people are worried because they say, well, I have a house to sell? Can you explain how you might make it up on the other end?
And one can understand that concern, but you know, if you're selling a house that maybe a year ago was worth $220 and maybe you're only getting $205 today, you're able to leverage that into a new home that is selling for less. So in effect, yes, you may lose a little bit on the sale of your existing home, but you're going to make it up and then some if you're stepping up in purchasing power. But again, the focus right now is on these first-time buyers, because if we can get that activity going, it's going to help the entire market. So. Okay. And if you think about it, $7,500, rates that are averaging APRs between 4.5 and low 5s, and then on top of that, a buyer's market. It just makes good sense to kick into gear and start looking for a home.
Got to start looking for a home.
Got to start looking for a home. Now, on top of that, these low rates still make it a good time to talk about refinancing. If anybody is out there with an adjustable rate loan, an ARM, by golly, when you're talking about rates in the low 5s, it's a good time to consider that. And don't wait for something that might happen. Take advantage of it today. None of us can predict the future. On top of that, if somebody has an FHA or a VA loan, Courtney, they have both of those programs have what's called a streamline rate reduction. There's no qualification. There's very little documentation and virtually no cost to the buyer or the homeowner. So you essentially can just roll your mortgage to a lower interest rate without jumping through a bunch of hoops. That's again for FHA and VA. And as I mentioned last week, there's a lot of folks that are shortening their term. People that are on a 30-year today at say 6.5 or 6 3/4. Many of those folks are able to go to a 15 or 20-year loan, keep that payment the same or even still lower, and certainly save big money over time. That's what we're all about, trying to help folks save big money.
And you have to look at the big picture.
Big picture, long term, absolutely. Let's not focus on what's happening today or tomorrow. Home buying and home ownership is a longer term proposition. Okay,
now let's say you want to buy a home, not sure what that credit rating is or where it needs to be.
You know, Courtney, I'm seeing a lot of folks coming in that have tough credit, weak credit. You know, there's a lot of ways, as we talked in the past, that one can remedy that situation. What I want to talk about today, and we'll talk about it next time we get together as well, is a credit restoration process that exists. Now, there's many credit repair opportunities that may exist. As we've mentioned in the past, some of them are very reputable, some of them are not. I have access to very reputable ones. There is help available. Credit restoration through a national credit law organization that for a relatively small fee and a $10,000 guarantee. If they're unable to help restore that credit or fix that credit, they will give that person a $10,000 check. And it is in very clear writing. So what I would like everybody to consider as we move into the new year, and again we'll talk about this again, is to look at where their credit standing is. I mean, after all, if you're looking at these low rates and these great buyer incentives and this $7,500 tax credit, never mind wanting to refinance and try to save yourself some money, some people are being impeded or stopped through poor credit.
Okay.
We can help. We can come to the rescue on that and help. So with this National Credit Law Organization, essentially they go in, and I can provide all of the information and all the details that anybody that would like to access this. And again, I can be reached at 502-6501 Courtney, or at the web at www.financeone.us. And with that very simple phone call, I can connect that individual to a process that will in fact help improve their credit and make life better as we go into the new year.
Stay on top of it.
Stay on top of it. Let's get her fixed.
Thanks, Chuck. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
We're going to be
Courtney.
right back with more Omaha Life